if we're going to be honest.
Well, hey, welcome to the show, everybody. It is episode 601 of the Counting Future Conflicts. My name is Scott. I am the proprietor of the Future Conflict Champ. Today we're talking tanker time and the liberals prepare for war. Because why not, right? It's the thing to do. Joe, how you doing, brother?
Well, let's see. I'm doing good now. I just cracked open that white pan. Ready to get going with my day. You know what? It's not bad. It got up to like 48 degrees yesterday. Headed for almost 50 today in the most non-Montana weather ever. And you know,
is balmy 50.
Yeah, it's not very helpful for my winter survival class I have coming.
I bet you still have snow on the ground.
Nope, not a lick. Might be some in the woods, but not much. I had a lot, and it is now all gone because it's also been raining on top of it being warm. So the rain kind of makes it all go away, and that's okay. We got folks coming; it'll be a good thing. We also have the Boy Scouts coming this weekend, and I've got a couple projects I'm going to put them on to help improve the camp facilities over the weekend. Lots going on.
Well, you know, the downside about the Boy Scouts coming is that it tamps down the bar energy that you can get going on the weekends, I'm sure.
Yes. I have to move the bar a little bit. Can't just have it out, hanging out and everything. We also have to secure firearms, which is weird because we never do around here. They're just kind of
out. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's probably one of those kind of things that you probably don't need to worry about it, but just to have them out there, the liability, gets too high if you don't have that stuff secured and whatnot, it seems like.
Well, we were actually just talking yesterday about in the new building, setting up some sort of an arms room for just such a purpose. So,
yeah, that's probably a good idea. I mean, you've
guys come to camp, they can secure their weapons in it. All that stuff. So,
well, would you use that main room that main house, or would you put it in the big building? Because that big building has some rooms that. Yeah, I was gonna say there's some.
We could use a jail cell for that if we wanted to.
I was getting ready to say you've got some rooms that are almost purpose made for that.
You could theoretically put arms in one and ammo in the other.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, it's. I hate to say it, the Franklin memes have slowed down, but definitely they haven't gone away. And the fact that the U.S. government continues to post them, I think that's a positive development.
Your tax dollars at work.
My favorite latest one is this one right here, Watcher. I'll share it with you so you can share it with the folks. Speaking of which, Watcher, how are you doing?
Oh, doing good.
So this is the best thing to come out of the Department of Justice since well, ever, Franklin becomes a deportation judge.
Yeah, that's a good one. I saw a couple of great ones in the last 24 hours, but that one is good.
Yeah.
I want to complain about Watcher and explain to him that he's not allowed to put photos of cute animals that his wife is making on the internet near Christmas. It makes everyone else's life harder.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, you know there's no such thing as a ghost from Ohio.
Well, if you're going to be from Ohio, it has to be a ghost. So
I was going to say, I mean, you can't be a ghost from a place that had never existed in the first place.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. He's in the chat claiming he's real, so who knows? Maybe he's an eater of ghosts rather than not. But I mean, watch her. She already has the world's biggest Squishmallow collection and the world's biggest stuffed Bucky's collection.
I need to ask her if she can knit a Bucky's logo into the side of it. Then we'd really be cooking.
You will get in big trouble if you make a Bucky's one and sell it.
I know. The beaver will come right through my window.
We're going to send a beaver after you.
Has she seen the second one?
No, and she shall not.
Can I just say, I'm just kind of going through the comments. Go through the comments on this one because
the one before was the one with the fun comments. This one's just I like it.
Well, no, I was talking about the Franklin one.
Oh, okay. Franklin. Oh yeah, that one's a video that's got a bunch of them. Class.
Yeah, I still think it's so funny. That is literally going to go down as a case study on how
not using the intellectual property of others. Franklin is most tired of immigrants and their behavior.
I like the animated ones. If I'm honest, they're pretty good. Franklin conducts a show.
I do have to ask: has everybody pestered all the lawyer friends of the show to go and become deportation judges? Because they can do it, like legitimately. They've put out a call.
I can't imagine that wouldn't be a bad thing to have on your resume too. I mean,
just saying.
Anyway, Franklin continues to amuse us. If you didn't already realize that.
If they finally get one that says Franklin enlists in the Army, it'll be followed quickly by Franklin visits a strip club and Franklin buys a Camaro Z28 at 27.
Franklin gets a payday loan.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you forgot one of those, a qualification to that Camaro, which was at 38% interest.
I tell you what, man, for a while it was, you didn't have to worry about that because the soldiers were using their deployment money. Like they were paying cash for that Camaro coming home, which also a dumb idea, but still it was way better than getting a 38%, loan.
My favorite was the place right next to base that was all run by one single Vietnamese family that was a combination haircut parlor, cell phone dealership, car dealership, and massage parlor.
Well, the massage parlor is important.
I'm just saying, you've got all the needs taken care of in one place.
Watcher, who are you to judge these people? Okay,
I'm not. I'm just look, man. Understand your target audience. These people, I aspire to learn from these people in business.
That's exactly right. All right, gentlemen, are we ready to get started with the show today? It should be a good one. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff happening in the world, but let's be honest, we're really kind of drawn in by this Venezuela thing, and I don't know. It should prove for a continuingly interesting topic.
Oh, you know what?
All right, first up,
I just saw this though. I'm sorry, Scott.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I finally got one of those fake coast-to-coast radio companies to actually reply on Twitter. They had to respond to something I said when I pointed out it's literally nothing but an old Nextel phone, and it's not actually a radio. Man, They got very butthurt about this, and said, we're totally different than Nextel. We're operating on a different frequency. Oh, so different. My bad. They don't like me exposing their lies. Anyway, I'm sorry. Carry on.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I've got a watch. I'm just letting you know. I'm adding a meme to the Tanker Time one, so that'll be added in there for your edification. All right, let's jump into this first story: criminalizing Bible verses. Canadian lawmaker. Well, I mean, of course, it's Canadians. Canadian lawmakers target religious expression with proposed hate speech amendment. In a move that should alarm anyone who's pro-free speech, members of Canadians' Liberal Party have capitulated to the pressure of Quebec's ultra-secular Separatist Party by voting to strip away long-standing religious exemption from the country's hate speech as part of the draconian Bill C-9, also known as the Combating Hate Act. Canada's criminal code has long shielded good faith religious expression with a clear exemption that speech is not hate propaganda if, in good faith, the person expresses or attempted to establish by an argument an opinion on a religious subject or an opinion based on a belief in a religious text. On Tuesday evening, the protection was casually deleted at the Bloc Quebec insistence. Let's see. CBC has the details on what happens next. Progress appeared to stall after an initial committee meeting to go over a bill abruptly canceled last week. 3 sources speaking to CBC News said the bill was held up because the Justice Minister office brokered the deal with the Bloc without getting buy-in from the Prime Minister's office. Tuesday's meeting was scheduled last minute after last week's cancellation. The Bloc has long since to remove religious exemptions. Let's see. Saying that religion can be used as cover for promoting hate, such as homophobia and anti-Semitism. This is absolutely nuts.
It's nuts. First of all, let me apologize to our Canadian viewers. It's Scott's failing to say Quebecois. But anyway.
I refuse to, Joe. I mean, let's be honest. That's Quebecois is one of the words that I can actually say. But I choose to never do so. I
noticed. I've been pointing out for a long time that they would like to criminalize Christianity, and this is a move towards doing that. I get it. This would also include the Quran, Torah, and all the others. But that's not who they're intending this to be used against. Let's just be honest.
Oh, right. Yeah, 100%. It will not be used against the Quran, not once. Let's see. So, I mean, this just is another example of all the kind of hate speech. I mean, this is literally hate speech, right? You hate these religions, so you create speech that bans their speech, right? And let's be honest. Is there some critical things in all probably religious yeah, there are. And guess what? It's okay. It's okay for there to be critical stuff in all these books. It was a different time, and B, when God says something, you kind of have to understand what the hell he's talking about before you start saying, "Oh, well, we don't have to listen."
Yes, correct.
Well, this is part and parcel of not having a written Bill of Rights. I hate to say it, but accept no substitute.
Yeah, I think most people don't realize that, like, America is very rare in that we actually have a written constitution that has, protections for specific rights. And now remember, these aren't rights that the government gives to people. These are rights that God gives to people that the government must respect and cannot infringe upon.
Right.
But not the case for Canada.
Well protected in other countries as it is here, but most Western countries have some sort of a protection for it, right?
Yeah, they've got that. What is it? The Universal Code of Human Rights was one you find a lot of European
the Charter
countries
of Human
using.
Rights. Yeah.
Yeah, but ultimately, freedom of speech is not one of the actual things covered in that Charter of Human Rights, oddly enough. Because they use that charter and right to actually limit free speech more often than not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Canada must be conquered for their own good.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on with Canada. I tell you, I still think it's funny, all the videos I keep getting recommended about how Yukon, Manitoba, and Alberta, and all these, Western provinces are basically begging to join the U.S. I mean, I don't know that it's that widespread, but yeah, I think there's a lot of people in Canada that longingly look to the South and are just like, oh, I wish I could be an American.
I'll be honest. It would be interesting to see what would happen if somebody actually did give them at least a wink, right? Because I know there's a lot of people who would like that, but I think a lot of them just don't think it's on the table, and it probably isn't, to be clear. But if somebody did give them a bit of a, little knowing wink, maybe they might split off and make their own country. That'd be good.
Yeah. I don't know. Canada, we're praying for you, but man, you got to do it yourself. We can't do it for you.
Unless we suddenly find a whole bunch of rare earth minerals up there, then we will do it for you. Joke. It's a joke.
Well, speaking of which, didn't you?
So yeah, this morning
say that they found a bunch up by you guys.
Yeah, well, hold on. I'll pull up the article. Yeah, this morning, I saw that news broke last night that they found a ton of like 16 different rare earth minerals in amounts and depositions that are similar to what China had before they started mining their rare earth mineral supply, in one single small place in Utah. So, yeah. Look, you can't convince me that God doesn't love America. It's not possible.
Well, I mean, it's here's the thing, Watcher. The sad thing is even if they let them completely exploit all that, are they going to let them, create a factory to process it?
Who knows? But it's there if we need it, right? Joe, that's hilarious. Yeah, I gotta pull that up. I'm sorry.
if you haven't been watching the Phoenix Ammunition thing with the silly Ian Carroll show, but it was $1,000 gun, bro.
The Ian Carroll Wojak is that's choice.
Hey, you know what I learned this morning, actually, from my friends? I actually know the guys from Phoenix Arms. Is that last year they bought copies of the Tactical Wisdom series for their employees for Christmas. So,
oh man,
that's pretty. It's pretty legit. Phoenix Ammo, good dudes. Support them if you can. They make great ammo. I've used it. Pretty solid. Actually, I was about to buy some 45 from them. So, and I hope it comes in one of these bags.
Yeah, you should. Hey,
Phoenix Ammo. We're always looking for a sponsorship. Just saying.
Yeah, you should be like, can I get a bag of that bag, a bunch of 45 in that bag?
Yeah, the whole argument was dumb. So what I did is I took the guy's comment, "It's a 1,000-yard gun, bro," and I put a Nerf gun above it and I put, "It's a 1,000-yard gun."
Oh, I love those chains. Man, I haven't seen a good chain in a while.
The thing is, everyone became a ballistic expert on the Charlie Kirk shooting when you and I and Watcher, we all know that bullets do really weird things when they hit the human body. They don't.
Yeah.
Science sometimes doesn't have an answer for what a bullet does. See John F. Kennedy, right?
Yeah. I actually kind of am at least a bit of a ballistic expert, not in that specific caliber, but in 5.56. That's my first reaction to everybody like, oh, well, where's the exit wound? Was bullets do weird shit.
Here's the thing: you guys saw the rifle that the guy used?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't convince me that rifle wasn't potentially keyholing. Because that's an old shitty rifle. Is what it was.
Yeah. No,
wasn't it a sporterized like K98?
Yeah,
something like that.
That's exactly what it was. So, who knows? Who knows? And who knows what sort of a bullet hit him with? I mean,
regardless, bullets do weird shit, man. You talk about stories where guys get hit in a grazing wound on one side of the head. It travels through the skin all the way around the skull and then pops out the other side near the ear. Like, bullets do weird shit. And hits the
second guy and causes actual damage. And Ron Court,
well, I mean,
hunted all my life. Bullets do weird stuff. Yeah, even when they hit a deer.
Yeah. So anyway, all right.
Oh man, this one's Scott. What is? I know it's an important story, but man, every time we have to talk about this, it makes me feel uneasy. Can we get the good part out of the way first? The dude who survived is doing really well. He's apparently like walking and talking, and he remembers his name.
Well, speaking of bullets doing weird things, my understanding is that guy, he basically was dead to rights. So that Joe, you said that was a 357 Magnum. I mean, there's no fucking way in hell a straight melon shot from a 357 Magnum should do anything else other than just end you, right?
Flat miracle,
and the fact that guy, it's a fucking miracle, man. It's unbelievable. So,
but also wear your fucking Kevlars, boys and girls.
Well, it's kind of hard to put Kevlar in your face, but yeah.
Oh, did he get shot in the face? I thought he got shot from behind in the head.
I hadn't heard either way, but still. Top Democrat says murder of DC National Guard, just an unfortunate accident. Yeah, so he dropped the gun that he didn't mean to shoot, and then it went off and killed both of them. During a heated House Committee on Homeland Security hearing on Thursday, Representative Benny Thompson, Democrat from Mississippi, sparked outrage by dismissing the Thanksgiving Eve shooting of the two National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C. as an unfortunate accident. Characterization. Yeah, accident, Joe. So, not something that was intentionally done.
Before we move on, as the rage builds up inside me, I have to ask, gentlemen, is Mississippi the kind of place where a man like this can be replaced for something like that? I know that if my representative in Idaho said this, they would probably be facing a recall before the week was out.
Well,
if you picture that dude in a pair of bib overalls, he is Mississippi.
Let's be honest. Mississippi is probably one of those states that they could gerrymander this man out of existence, right? The problem is like in Indiana, that's full of GOP cucks who are afraid of doing. That's just not fair to take away the representation of those voters.
Honey, we're going to vote for the black guy.
We need to have
so great.
We need to have an episode.
Look at how wonderful we are correcting the historical wrongs of our own people.
Yeah. We really need to have an episode on how to go around the GOP. I have some ideas for guests for that. Let's go ahead.
Let's see. The casual characterization of what DHS Secretary Kristi Noem quickly corrected as a terrorist attack revealed Thompson's apparent inability or refusal to acknowledge the gravity of the attack that left 20-year-old U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom dead and 24-year-old U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf critically wounded. The exchange began when Thompson referenced what he called the unfortunate accident that occurred on National Guardsmen being with the National Guardsmen being killed. And Secretary Noem immediately pushed back, asking pointedly, "You think that that was an unfortunate accident?" When Thompson tried to deflect, Noem shot back, "It was a terrorist attack. He shot our National Guardsmen in the head." The officials in Washington confirmed that the shooting of the 2 National Guardsmen near the White House was a targeted attack. The gunman, Afghan national, who was admitted to the U.S. as part of Biden's administration Operation Allies Welcome, reportedly walked straight up to the troops on patrol and opened fire. Thompson not only minimized the shooting, but turned it into a partisan attack, pivoting to blame Trump administration for approving the attacker's asylum application. He doubled down on his dismissive language. I'm not quite sure how the Trump administration could be responsible for this. It was an unfortunate situation, but you blame it solely on Joe Biden. I want you to know who approved the asylum application for the same person. Mr. Thompson, the individual that came into the country. No, Mr. Thompson interrupted. No, I want you to know who approved it. Congressman Thompson, I want you to understand. No, Thompson interrupted. The back and forth devolved into a combative exchange as Thompson repeatedly interrupted Noem's attempts to explain how the vetting process worked. Thompson interjected multiple times, attempting to prevent the secretary from detailing how the attacker entered the United States under the Operation Allies Welcome.
Here's how you handle this argument, because a lot of people raised it with me too, but Trump approved it. If the guy had never been admitted under Biden, his asylum claim never would have been seen by the Trump administration. And I'll be honest, the Trump administration did a block approval of these because there's no way to vet people from a country that doesn't keep written records, right?
Boy, it's funny. It's funny how that part never goes around the liberal circles.
Right.
Like every time I talk to one of them about it, I have to explain this to them. Like there's literally not a functioning government.
Yeah. Here's the other thing too, right? Just because, like, let's say this guy was a perfect applicant when, when he came over, right? If you don't set the next administration up to be able to monitor people like that, or if you don't have a program in place to monitor them already, then it's basically, it was a faulty process that you brought them over with altogether. Federal investigators are exploring whether the Taliban threatened to harm his family in Afghanistan if he refused to carry out the shooting. Let's see. And we've talked about this stuff before. He worked with special operations and stuff like that. He's an NDS commando over there in Afghanistan. So the unfortunate accident here is not accidental. It's intentional. And it's this moron is a congressperson. That's the unfortunate.
That's the Democrat talking point, that it was an unfortunate accident. Let's see how many more of them use that terminology.
I think it's the trial balloon. We'll see how hard this guy gets slammed for it. They do that all the time. Pick somebody small who doesn't matter to be the one to say it. And are they going to get hit for it? Or, oh, no, he got away with it? Okay, everybody pile on.
Yeah. It's kind of the old trial balloon thing, right? All right. Wow, that guy looks weird. Moving on to the next story. Of course, I can't look at this. Hold on a second, Watcher. I need an archive link here. The Epoch Times story is not working for me.
Me either. Oh, there it goes. Hold on. It just pulled up for me. Let me make it bigger. Embiggen. There you go. You could probably read it on mine.
All right, stand by. God, I hate it when they make me verify like a CAPTCHA. God damn it. All right, here we go. Trump signs order to prevent states from regulating AI. Wow, you mean like the interstate commerce is not a thing? I'm so kind of surprised that we even have to say this. The president says his cabinet say that allowing the states to regulate AI themselves would stifle innovation and allow China to outpace the United States.
It's an end run to try and get around California. Let's call it what it is.
Well, right. So the irony here is that it's not all the states, because most states have fairly minor kind of things they would like to put in, things like to protect kids and whatnot. But it's California that is absolutely fucking. It's actually California, Illinois, and I can't remember what the other states. One other state. I think it might be Colorado. California, Illinois, and Colorado, the three states that are really being stupid about this. I think this is absolutely a win, especially considering China doesn't think of AI as a business tool like we do. They think of it as a weapon. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on December 11th that seeks to establish a federal standard on regulating artificial intelligence companies and prevent states from putting limits on the booming industry. Titled Ensuring a National Policy Framework for Artificial Intelligence, the president order aims to create national standards on AI regulations that would forbid any state laws from going beyond its framework and challenging them through the Department of Justice. You have to have a central source of approval, Trump said during a signing ceremony. When they need approvals on things, they have to come to one source. They can't go to California, New York, and various other places like Illinois. They're putting all this money in, and it's a big part of the economy. Since Trump took office in January, state-level AI regulation has been bipartisan, with a large number of Republican-led states like Arkansas, Florida, Alabama, and North Dakota passing legislation to clamp down on the industry, particularly as parents sue companies like OpenAI, accusing its chatbot of encouraging their children to commit suicide. Trump said it was important to protect the growing industry, with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent suggesting that China would outpace the United States in innovation if the federal government allowed states to enact its own rules. The order says the national standard for AI regulation should protect children and prevent censorship and copyright infringements and safeguard communities. So one of the things that the children's safety thing is pretty basic, right? It has less to do with the AI. It has way more to do with like signing in to log in, right? Like, the whole kind of like, you got to have some sort of like a way to do age verification. But what California, and I think it's Colorado specifically, if I remember this correctly, what they want to do is they want to be able to say that you can't be your AI model can in no way ever suggest something that suggests that a minority in America is lesser in any way than the majority group. Right? Say if you say women as a minority of men, then you can't suggest that women aren't as good as men. So it would be illegal in California or Colorado to say, have the AI basically state things like women aren't as aggressive as men, or, women, all the things that we know to be true, because men and women are different, right? The whole point is that they want to bake that into the model. And Watcher, as our kind of our community expert here at AI, that if you bake it into the model, then it skews all the answers, and it basically forces propaganda on, and that's how we end up with Black George Washington, right?
It's been a while since that, but yeah. It's just all waiting. Basically, it's what you wait in the system and tell it, hey, this is important, or hey, this is junk. And it's very easy to see how if you base that around liberal lawmakers, that can go very wrong very quickly. You need, as as Musk has said a couple of different times, and it's absolutely true, whether it's Musk or others, the fact is you need to be demanding that if you're building these AIs, they need to be as maximally truth-seeking as possible, regardless of what the social pressures are, because the results of AI being misaligned with reality are the types of things that can wipe out your civilization.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think this is a good move, but ultimately this is, once again, it's an executive order which basically has the force of nothing. This is something that needs to be a federal law. It can't just be an executive order. Down here in the article it says Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, a top Republican ally to the president and strong advocate for state-level AI regulations, said that an executive order can't and doesn't preempt states from enacting AI legislation, but that Congress could do so theoretically. And he's actually right. The executive order is just a suggestion from the president. It doesn't have the force of law behind it. Hey, Joe, I mean, that's been one of the problems with the Trump administration, right? They're trying to follow the Obama era thing where, hey, we're just going to rule by executive order. And you can't do that. You got to get Congress on your side.
Well, if we were going to complain about Barack Obama doing it, we have to also complain about Donald Trump doing it.
Yeah.
And what he needs to do is get legislation passed that says this rather than
exactly right.
executive fiat. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, but that's all it is. It's just a suggestion until it becomes a law. Anything else on that? Anything else AI related you want to talk about, Watcher, before we move on?
I'm glad you said Watcher.
No,
well, I know you don't want to talk about AI, Joe. I know it's not your bag.
Unfortunately, most of the intelligence on the internet is artificial.
No arguments there.
Yeah, no argument there. I mean, what do you guys think about the whole dead internet?
No,
thing?
it's not a theory.
Dang it! I thought we were out of this, and I messed it up.
We are. No, we're good. We're good. Because
well, I mean, you're the one that just suggested it, Joe. The whole dead internet theory.
That's what I just said. It's literally what I just said.
But well, hey, here's the thing. I can't let us get sidetracked into something like that when our next topic is this good.
Well, but before then, Joe, you want to tell us a little bit about tactical-wisdom.com?
I do, but before that, I want to bring up a fundraiser. Stand by, I ready, but I did not. We need to do a fundraiser for Boilerman09. Great dude. Essentially, he had a break-in at his girlfriend's place. He was over there helping her with something, and then he was helping her change the locks, actually, to keep this from happening. And then this guy busted in the door. He, not knowing what the guy was going to do, pulled out his we can show a screen right here. Pulled out his firearm, told the guy to leave. The guy did leave, but then immediately called 911 and claimed that this guy pointed a gun at him and brandished a firearm at him. Jason has a lawyer who will take the case, says he's got a solid chance of winning it because it is a straight self-defense case, and he needs to raise the money for it. So we're going to drop some links in both of the chats here. If you can't help, I understand that, but at least share this link around your network so we get more eyes on this so that we can try to help him out. Jason is a good man. There are many of you in the chat who have met him and had meals cooked by him, Washer among them. And he's a good man. We want to get him taken care of and helped. Unfortunately, his job has terminated him over this, and in his new job will not hire him until this is adjudicated. So he's kind of stuck in the middle, and we want to help get him out of that gray zone that he is in. So I would appreciate it. All right, so that is that. Let let me stop sharing that. Tactical Wisdom. There we go. Boom. Check it out there. We've got lots of training courses coming up. We have Winter Survival this weekend. And that's going to be okay. Yeah, you keep trying, Hunch. A lot of people get that 403, and then the second time they get it through. Anyway, we have Winter Survival this month. We're doing it again in February. But next month, we've got Winter Fieldcraft, and I've already got at least one sign up for that, where we're going to talk about applying the fieldcraft skills in the winter. We will be doing some snowshoeing in that class and talking about camouflage, cover, and concealment in the winter, which is different than the regular course. And then we'll also be doing a combatives weekend a couple weeks after that. Lots going on. Then there's a rumor about October, North Carolina, but I can't say that too loud because I choose life. We will see. But anyway, check that out. If you want any books for Christmas, you need to get those orders in today. I got a few yesterday, so thank you. You can get them from Amazon quicker, but for me, they come signed. And let's just face it, you want a signed copy. You want to be the cool guy who gives your friends signed copies of the books. So get on it. That's all I got.
Very good. Very good. All right, let's jump into our brush beater segment here. Let's see. Tonight, we're breaking down the U.S. tanker seizure, shaking the seas, and how liberals worldwide are gearing up for war. Sanctions, seizures, saber rattling, all from the usual suspects. When tankers stop flowing and the warmongers rev up, clarity is your weapon. Enter the sponsor, Brush Beater Store, led by NC Scout, loading you with Kyber optics to cut through the maritime muck and ideological haze. In a world of seas, ships, and escalating agendas, Kyber Optics from Brush Beater Store keeps your vision locked on. The Kyber Optics PVS 14 monocular Generation 2 white phosphor premium Japanese glass, lifetime. You break it, we replace it, warranty. Perfect for night watches on decks or spotting threats in the fog of war. Go lightweight with the Skull Crusher head mount for extended ops without fatigue. And for high seas or high stakes daylight action, the Kyber Optics MDO slams a close emitter red dot with shake awake, 50,000 hour battery life, rugged for salt spray or street confrontations. And when the range matters, Kyber Optics 1 to 6 power LPVO gives you variable power with etched reticles built to handle the pitch and roll of global conflict. Experience with the difference with darkroom in the darkroom at Brushbeater's Yanceyville, North Carolina showroom, or secure yours at brushbeater.store/collection/optics. Use code CSC10 for 5% off all Kyber Optics night vision radios or training. Orders over $100 ship for free. Big thanks to Matt at Brushbeater Store for fueling counsel and future conflict. Visit brushbeater.store, enter code CFC10, and keep your eyes on the horizon while the liberals steer us towards war. Now back to the show. All right.
Hey, before you do that, I want to address Mutually Assured's question to me. Yep. Does a signed copy have trade value? Today, no. But when Homeland Security or FBI shoot me, it's going to go up by $3.75, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Canadian.
All right. Yeah, I tell you what, man, that just reading through his gifts and go. By the way, yeah, it does work. It's just a matter of, clicking on it maybe again. All right. Just in time for this, I saw the Franklin meme, and I think this is one of the better ones, if I'm honest. Franklin helped seize a Venezuelan tanker.
I think this was a baller move because we did it right in front of not just the Venezuelans, but also the Iranians who are stationed on an island right there. And the Iranians do this on the regular. So
let's see. It's worth pointing out that at least according to accusations, and this would make a lot of sense, it's more than just a tanker.
Yeah, you wanna expand on that, Watcher?
Sure. The accusations are that this has some pretty advanced electronic warfare suites inside of it, which is why we seized it.
Interesting.
Well, it's got that EW suite because this is part of Venezuela's shadow fleet. It's one that's used to avoid sanctions. It's one of the ones that cross-loads oil from Russian tankers, and it's one of the ones they use to do business with countries when they're not supposed to be selling oil.
And that's a big tanker too. This is not a little boy.
It's a VLCC, yeah.
As Trump will say in one of the videos we have, it's the largest carrier ever seized.
I want to know what those dudes have in their backpacks when they're going on. What are you taking a backpack on a ship seizure for?
Probably breaching stuff is what I guess.
Probably, but all I want to say is I'm just so happy that somebody finally got to use fast rope training. Can I just I
tell you what, man, those guys use it all the time. But unfortunately, it's training was when they use it mostly. But
right.
But yeah, I mean, but even though like they're not going down far, you can see here like this is one of those kind of places where it would technically you probably could land a helicopter on that deck, but you wouldn't want to because it's just complicated.
Well, you don't know what's laying on the deck, right?
Exactly.
A short section of chain will ruin the day of a Black Hawk pilot, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So
it looks like they got down about 12 feet over the deck and then they went down. So it wasn't a long drop. So
we learned something in Mogadishu that if you fast rope shorter, guys who fall don't get hurt as bad. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly right. So
what's that? Department of Lessons Learned. We need a graphic for that, like a little animated stamp.
All right, let's see here.
I recall doing that way before it was cool. We seized Iranian oil platform that way.
I was gonna say, Joe, you still get to lay claim though, because they fast roped on, so you're still part of the last laying alongside action. Thus far, war's still young.
Yeah.
White House says seized Dark Fleet tanker now en route to U.S. Track its position here. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt told reporters Thursday that the VLCC skipper seized by the U.S. Forces on Wednesday is inbound to a U.S. port and that the U.S. intends to seize the oil. However, she noted that there is legal process for such a seizure and that the process will be followed. Yeah, I mean, Joe, just because you don't ever hear about anybody taking prizes anymore doesn't mean that prizes can't be taken. The legal framework is
still a major part of international agreements on maritime law.
Yeah, let's watch a little bit of her. Carolyn Leavitt's a joy to the ears, so let's just listen a little bit.
The vessel has been seized, as you know. And the Department of Justice did that in conjunction with the Coast Guard and the Department of War. The vessel is currently undergoing a forfeiture process right now. The United States currently has a full investigative team on the ground on the vessel, and individuals on board the vessel are being interviewed and any relevant evidence is being seized. With respect to the oil, that's a different issue. As you know, Peter, the vessel will go to a U.S. port, and the United States does intend to seize the oil. However, there is a legal process for the seizure of that oil, and that legal process will be followed.
So
the legal process has already been done to seize the ship. Now they just have to seize the contents of the ship. All they have to do in order to do that, though, since they seized the ship on a warrant that says it was unlawfully transporting oil, all they have to do is stick their finger in and lick it and go, yep, that's oil, and they can then seize it. So it's going to be pretty simple for them. And I think this sends a good message. We need to be doing more of this. The last time we seized a ship on the high seas was we used the Defense Production Act to seize a ship that was en route to Germany with 3M face masks on it, which I thought was just an armed robbery. This one's a little bit better.
Those ended up being so necessary, too. We really needed those.
Somebody commented that ship looked full. Yeah, when they're sitting that low in the water, that ship is full to the brim with oil.
Yeah,
we wouldn't have taken it if it wasn't. By the way.
Well, the other thing too, there, Joe, is that that these, civil asset, forfeiture, this is not exactly the same as what we kind of get hot under the collar about here in the civilian world, but it's basically the same thing at the federal level. And this is exactly how it was. This is how it's intended to be used correctly. Like when you have a large criminal conspiracy and you seize the assets of that criminal.
Well, and the burden would be upon the Venezuelan government or what's the Venezuelan oil industry, the oil ministry of Venezuela, to prove that it was not going where we said it was going, which is kind of hard to do since they file a manifest on where the ship is going. So,
yeah. And so it wasn't an unflagged vessel. Yeah. So there was some weirdness on the flagging. So I guess it was flagged out of the Comoros Islands.
That's not uncommon.
Right. But but from my understanding is it was falsely flagged out of there. Like it wasn't really registered in there.
Well, I guess my point on that is that that's not necessarily indicative of fraud, because an awful lot of American ships carry what we call flags of convenience. In order to enter certain ports, you can't have certain flags. So instead, you flag your ship with a flag of convenience so that you can go into more ports.
All right, let me go back to let's see. Bloomberg data shows the skipper just north of St. Lucia in the Eastern Caribbean Sea. The vessel is still listed as engines underway and is heading north west.
Hey, there's one of you who watches this show who is in St. Lucia today, and you texted me yesterday from there. So I know what you're up to. You and that Swiss wife of yours. All right.
What's the dollar value of that oil? Good question.
Well, and by the way, this person is in the oil and gas industry, so.
Levitt offered no information about the skipper's port calling. However, is that the name of the boat, the Skipper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Weird. However, only a few U.S. ports can handle VLCC tankers because they draw upwards of 22 meters of water when fully loaded and require specialized deep water berths. I would imagine Louisiana, offshore oil port would be the only facility able to fully load and unload. Shockingly enough, it's right over there, not that far away to the northwest. Let's see. Offshore lightering areas include Gulf of Mexico, Corpus Christi, Houston, Galveston. So I guess what they're talking about there are the is where you basically port. You dock at a offshore facility that could then pump the oil out and use a pipeline to pump it into the into the shore. Major Caribbean deep water terminals include St. Eustis, St. Croix, Freeport, Bahamas. Welcome to. So this is the part of this is the more kind of commentary part of the article. Welcome to the Monroe Doctrine 2.0, a revival of gunboat diplomacy, where the U.S. forces just carried out an exceptionally rare move, seizing a massive dark fleet tanker off Venezuela, long known as a key tanker for Iran's shadow oil trade. Maritime Tracker Marine Traffic shows that the vessel is commandeered by the U.S. Special Operations Team, which rappelled onto the tanker's deck. We saw that video just a second ago.
That was not rappelling, by the way. Anyway,
it was fast stroking. Yes. Let's see. U.S. forces seized tanker linked to covert Venezuelan cruise shipment. Let's see, just looking for new information.
They've said that we're looking for more of them too.
1.1 million barrels of sanctioned Murray crude is how much was on there. So if you want to do the math on 1.1 million barrels, there's your dollar value. Marine traffic shows the vessel has been sanctioned by OFAC since November 2022 and repeatedly linked to high-risk activity. Her cargo includes multiple liftings of Venezuela and Iran, while operating risk signals show a 2-month AIS gap in Iranian waters. The vessel has also conducted high-risk and dark STS transfers in the Red Sea, Iranian and Syrian zones, alongside multiple AIS spoofing events. Here is the playback of the vessel's latest movements. And so they've got the maritime traffic. So you can kind of see there. It plays as a video, right?
No, not whatever this is.
Oh, I just thought
it's just showing you where all it was.
Oh, look at the next one. The next one kind of shows you like it's check-in. So China.
Well, that one showed
Iran,
a Chinese vessel meeting it in the sea. So
yeah. So definitely it goes to all the most reputable ports of calls, to include China. And bound for Cuba. I guess it was bound for Cuba when we picked it up. What's that?
Oh, it's just it wouldn't be a Zero Hedge article if they didn't mention how this affects the crude market.
Oh yeah. Let's see. In markets, Brent crude dipped. Brent crude round tripped any fears of market disruptions as seizure off Venezuelan coast is isolated. Yeah, I mean, basic.
Heater's got a good question in chat.
Did I hear we have one of the few refineries capable of refining this particular type of oil? We do. Venezuelan oil.
Many.
Yeah, we are set up to take Venezuelan oil. Now the good news is we also that same. My understanding is the Canadian oil is basically the same type. So
it is also quite nasty. Yes.
Yeah, like has a lot of sulfur in it, and things like along those lines. And of course, Venezuelan government strongly denounces and repudiates what constitutes as was robbery and an act of international piracy. To that, I think Donald Trump might have said, "Arr, matey."
Well, did Maduro also deliver that in the form of a song like his last couple of addresses?
He's been begging Trump here a lot lately. I'm just kind of surprised there's no begging.
Please, as much of an uproar as there was about the Jerusalem Cross patch in the War Department. I happen to know for a fact that multiple members of Coast Guard MLETs or maritime law enforcement teams throw on pirate patches when they do stuff like this, just for fun.
Whee!
Well, and the Navy SEALs have constantly been doing pirate patches and things like that. So I mean, it's okay, so next we got a little audio from El Presidente for life here, Donald Trump. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Oh, hold on. Go turn the volume up.
It's been an interesting day from the standpoint of news. As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, a large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening, so you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking about that later with some other people. Very excitingly for me and for the country, it's been an interesting day.
Well, I thought that was a longer clip, but yeah, he goes on to say more. Basically that, we're going to keep the oil.
Yeah, we're going to keep the oil. We're going to keep the tanker, is my understanding. I think this is exactly what you should do when you're. This is real sanctions. Like, you can talk sanctions all you want, but when you start seizing their assets on the high seas, when they're trying to kind of deal around the sanctions, this is exactly what you do. And
I will say that is one way to solve a lack of tankers in the strategic tanker program.
That's exactly right. You start you find them and you seize them.
You tactically acquire them.
All right. let's see. Let's go to the next one here. So this kind of aligns with the whole kind of inching towards action with Venezuela. Joe, have you seen anything that leads you to think that we're stepping back from action?
No, the biggest indicator I saw, it wasn't the combat rescue aircraft or the tankers. It was an entire squadron of EA-18Bs, the Growler, that arrived in San Juan. So
yeah, that was the other day, right? Yeah,
yesterday.
Those arrived yesterday. That's pretty interesting.
F-35 was sent down there as well.
And 35
then, of course,
were already there, but those 18Bs are a very specific platform for very specific reason, fulfilling that old role of the wild weasel, right? Yep. And there they are.
The thing I was going to mention about this right here, the combat rescue aircraft tankers arrive in Caribbean as U.S. military buildup accelerates, is you remember there were a couple things that were kind of weird to us before the Russians, LD'd into Ukraine. And like, for instance, whole blood and the hospitals that they were setting up, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of thing that you it's like you can kind of finger drill that on an exercise, but when you lean into that, and the other one that really kind of was a tip for me was the reloads for the short range ballistic missiles. It wasn't just the launchers going in. It was the launchers and then multiple reloads for each launcher. That was a big indicator to me that they planned on shooting a lot of missiles, because you normally don't move around things like that very often. Rowan Court for $1 says, chances if we do it again, seize another tanker, what are the chances it springs a leak and creates an oil spill that the left and the Maduro can blame on the U.S.?
Very little.
Yeah, I think we want this thing to join the fleet, if you will.
Well, I think he's basically saying what are the chances of one of the Venezuelans sabotaging it. And if you've watched any video of that deck clearing operation, not high, not high. So somebody asked, and I can't see it now there in the chat, but somebody asked, are we giddily walking into World War III? No, we've been in World War III for quite some time. We've been in the early 5th generation stages of it, and we did not do enough to prepare for it at that time. So now we're paying for it by messily doing so now.
But I was going to point out on that same comment by who was that? Sixart, was that the most dangerous thing for us to realize is that there are Russian Air Force personnel on the ground in Venezuela, and there are Iranian IRGC Quds Force personnel on the ground in Venezuela. So any attack would probably cause death to some of them. And I would imagine there's probably some Cubans rattling around there too. But we killed Cubans wholesale in both Grenada and Panama, and literally no one cared. But but just pointing out that there are a lot of other forces at play there. There are probably Chinese personnel there, but not so many as there are Russian.
The Russians would be the ones that's the biggest obstacle in my mind.
And Russian strategic assets, right?
Right. But ultimately,
they may not be nuclear armed. So,
but I think ultimately, I doubt they're nuclear armed. But ultimately, though, there are a lot of Russian trainers on the ground, and potentially some Wagner types that would be, basically paid to man specific Russian assets. That was very common, like with the air defense stuff that they gave to the Luhansk and Donetsk, people of republics or whatever. A lot of that stuff came with operators, and so I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the case here. Same in Libya. Some of the stuff that Haftar sent was Russian gear with Russian advisors. I think Russian advisors also got caught up in places in Syria. So
We killed Russians in Baghdad. I mean, we killed them in lots of places. So.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see some Russian dead bodies when this thing's all over with, but at the same time, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. All right, let me read a little bit about this. The Pentagon is continuing to rapidly add military capabilities to Operation Southern Spear, a mission that began as a counter-narcotics effort, but is increasingly aimed at the Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. Images emerged out online today with the Combat Search and Air Rescue, or CSAR, aircraft have arrived in Puerto Rico. In addition, the KC-135 Stratotanker aerial refuelers now flying missions out of the Dominican Republic. We also found the KC-46 Pegasus tankers have been flying sorties out of the U.S. Virgin Islands for months, with a major ramp up in activity in recent weeks. This is all on top of yesterday's arrival of the EA-18G Growler electronic attack jets in Puerto Rico, and the news that we broke yesterday that USAF F-35As are being sent to the Caribbean as well. Clearly, the Pentagon is moving into a posture in the region that is much better equipped for tactical air combat operations over hostile territory than it was just days ago. Despite this movement, White House spokesperson Carolyn Leavitt told reporters Thursday that the U.S. president does not want to see a protracted conflict in Venezuela. Well, a protracted conflict in Venezuela is not necessarily
a loaded phrase right there. That's
right.
It's not saying he doesn't want a war or a conflict. He said he doesn't want a protracted one.
That's right. That's right. We want in, out, nobody gets hurt, right? Except for a bunch of Russians.
Noriega-esque. Boy, we've been calling that from the beginning.
That Panama, Panama was not bloodless, but man, it was about at the definition of in and out kind of operation. I mean, it was over.
Major combat ops were less than 2 weeks, and overall campaign less than 2 months. So
yeah, there was a lot of kind of stabilization afterwards, but even that didn't last that long. So. Prolonged war is something the president is not interested in, she said, saying that Trump wants to see the end of illegal drugs trafficked in the United States. I don't think we need to watch her little clip there. Pretty much just says the same thing. Let's see. You've got the HC-130J Combat King, Combat Search and Air Rescue, HH-60W Jolly Green Giant 2, CSAR helicopters on the ramp in Roosevelt Roads, the former U.S. Navy facility in Puerto Rico. These aircrafts are stationed at Moody Air Force Base in Georgia, although the helicopters reportedly arrived from a deployment to Kadena Air Base in Japan. Well, that's kind of coming halfway around the world.
3/4 of the way.
Well, I mean, the Growlers are stationed in Oak Island, so I mean, it's everybody's coming. It's gonna be a good time.
Let's see, we got here the deployment of dedicated CSAR assets.
That means that we've emptied the cupboards elsewhere
in other places, right? Yeah, the dedicated CSAR aircraft to the region is a sign that the Trump administration could be about to drastically increase its pressure on Maduro and go after cartels inland with strikes. The aircraft are needed for rapid rescues of any air crews that are lost during military operations, specifically over contested territory. While the Marine Aviation Force from the USS Iwo Jima and its escorts are capable of this mission, as are helicopters from the Gerald Ford to varying degrees, the unique capabilities of these specialized crews.
Hey, who said the Marines are there for trap missions?
Tactical
recovery of aircraft and pilot.
I don't think we do that.
Huh? I said that.
No, the Marines do that.
Yeah, it's one of the main roles of an MEU.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, they're not the specialists at it, but that's one of the things that's the whole thing about the Marines is they've got to be able to do it all.
I got an MEU deployment or 2 under my belt. Yes, it is something they specialize in.
No, that's where I'm confused. I was going to say, is it like the Air Force? That's an MOS in the Air Force.
Yeah, it is, but it's a mission set for an MEU.
Yeah, so that's what was confusing.
Scott O'Grady, by the way.
Yeah. Let's see.
And got in a heck of a firefight the first time they tried.
Ghost Eater Eddie says it's about more than drugs. Oh, hell yeah, it's about more than drugs.
What? It isn't.
You think? Let's see. Forward deploying tankers reduces the amount of time needed to fly into the region and thus increases time on station and sortie rates. The presence of these jets in the Dominican Republic also represents a widening of the mission's footprints. As U.S. official told us, the bulk of U.S. land-based operations are run out of Puerto Rico and the Roosevelt Roads in particular.
You know what else is interesting is that we're not the only ones building up, because Maduro reached out to his homies and said, it's time to get the band back together. He gave a speech where he said that Ecuador, Colombia, parts of Peru, Brazil, and Guyana need to come back together in Gran Colombia, which was a large country established by Bolivar, right, after he freed all those areas. And this is also why both NC Scout and I pointed out for years that the army in Venezuela is not called the Venezuelan army. It's called the Ejército Bolivar, and it's the Bolivaran army, meant to encompass much more than Venezuela's landmass. It's been a dream of Chavez and Maduro to expand back into all the territory that used to be Gran Colombia. So,
well, you know, Joe, if they were nice enough to create that army, then maybe we should just kind of take them up on the offer and you know, do the whole like I'm your Huckleberry kind of.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Well, we're setting up to do
one thing is, though, is the map that Maduro released drew the line right through Essequibo, Guyana. So,
yeah, Guyana, right? I noticed that too. He's just lopped off that one little spot of Guyana.
That little corner he wants. And somebody pointed out, oh, isn't there something strategic in Panama? I said, there's something a lot more strategic and important in Essequibo, Guyana, that he drew into his map.
Well, no, but that is worth noting is that he included Panama on that map as well.
Yep.
The KC-47s have been in the Virgin Islands since September, according to the archive satellite imagery. The presence has grown steadily with between 5 and 6 tankers being seen. That's a lot of tanker right there.
You know, I got to say real quick that I think a good meme could be put together, like a good case for like top 5 ways to get unalived by the U.S. And it'd go something like touch our boats, threaten to not use our money, and then this jump.
I want my $2.
But yeah, I think probably the top one would be threaten to take the Panama Canal. If you want to see like the entire force of the U.S. military come down on you, justified morally or not, threaten to cut off our ability to reinforce the Pacific with our Atlantic fleet or vice versa. That's not going to go well.
Yeah, none of this is going to go well. I mean, let's be honest.
I'll point out C-130 Guru that the AC-130s will probably just launch right from the United States. And you won't know they're in theater until things start blowing up, and then they'll land somewhere in theater afterward.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite part of watching the Venezuelans get ready, was all the handheld Stinger type missiles that they got prepped. Oh boy, that's gonna be real useful, boss.
I love when Watcher entertains himself and laughs.
Well, it's just like the effective range on those means that the guys are going to have legitimately like roughly a half-second firing window before they're dead.
What do you think, Joe? Should I distract Watcher from this into something completely different?
Why not?
Oh, are we going to laugh at Europe now?
Well, I mean, there is that. I mean.
Oh, is it another?
Prepare for coming world war, says the NATO chief. Joe, world war, he says. The man says. You know, if Europe's going to throw another world war, you can count us out.
Yeah, we're not going to attend. We shall not attend to this one.
You can have a Europe war, not a world war. the Western Hemisphere will see to ourselves for a couple of years. How about that? Prepare for coming World War, NATO chief says. NATO chief Mark Rutte on Thursday gave a major address in Berlin where he pleaded with pleaded. That's an interesting term of phrase, with members of the alliance to drastically step up joint defense efforts in order to face down a coming conflict with Russia that could be on the scale of a war our grandparents and great-grandparents endured. In the keynote speech, he chastised those alliance partners who don't feel the urgency of the Russian threat to Europe. We're Russia's next target. I fear that it's almost like they want Russia to attack them. This is what I don't know.
They're begging for it. They absolutely need it because it justifies their entire existence.
I know, but the problem is they have, unless they false flag Russia into attacking, there's no fucking way in hell Putin's going to attack them.
Well, in this day of AI video and deep fakes, it's not that hard to do.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Here's the thing. All the European countries are facing this massive economic collapse due to their inflated social programs and now needing to maintain those social programs while massively expanding defense. That house of cards is going to fall, and they might as well blame it on Russia when it does. War solves all problems.
There's another side of this that you can't help but think it's got to be like the U.S. stopped paying attention. Quick, flirt with this other boy to get him. You know what I mean? Very needy girlfriend type energy going on.
Well,
let's see
too that this is simply just the world resetting itself to the norm. The post World War II relative peace we have had is the abnormality, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, no, you're exactly right, Joe. The 80 years of peace following World War II, and even that wasn't entirely peace, but it was a peaceful, net
relative
world
peace. Yes,
that's unheard of in history.
Well, geez, I think it was my friend Eigenrobot who said it, but one gets the feeling, the distinct impression that the world is essentially just waiting for the U.S. to stop looking so that it can lapse back into a state of ongoing permanent genocide.
Well, the irony is that the thing that's made America seem, let's be honest, almost the most prone to, I don't know, let's call it insensitivity kind of tax. It's all the political correctness we've gone through for the last 25 years. The backlash against it is fucking crazy. I mean, let's be honest, Joe. You and I grew up when people called each other fags and they said things like retards and all that kind of stuff. We said that all the time, right?
Yeah.
But I never said it to a gay guy because I never knew any gay guys, and if I do, they were gay. I wasn't going to come. It's like what you generally did. You said all those words, but you never actually said it to the people who it applied to because you weren't trying to hurt anybody's feelings, really. But it now you see people literally going out of their way to and what caused that? It's the backlash of this PC stuff. When you treat people like this, there's it's the whole pendulum swing. It swings back way harder the other way. And they've done this to themselves. Let me get back into this here. Conflict is at our door, he says. Russia has brought war back to Europe and we must be prepared. He added, while warning the next world war, he further asserted that Russia could be ready to use military force against NATO within 5 years. 5 years ago.
I've got news for him, though. Russia is ready to use military force against NATO today. Doesn't mean they're going to.
That's right.
But they are ready to.
And here's
Hong Kong, yes, you are a FUD because less than 7 days ago, you told me you wanted to shoot 45s together. So, FUD.
Yeah, that is the ultimate FUD round. Maybe the ultimate FUD round would be 30-30, but 45 comes.
Two world wars, baby. 2 world wars.
Let's see. What else did he say here? Oh, he said At a moment, the Ukraine war shows no signs of stopping. Root argued that more must just higher spending thresholds should be implemented, and he urged the alliance members to shift to a wartime mindset. This is not the time for self-congratulation, Root continued. I fear that too many are quietly complacent. Too many don't feel the urgency, and too many believe that time is on our side. It is not. The time for action is now. It sounds like one of those. You literally could put this in an AI generator and have Hitler deliver the speech, and it would sound like, Russia is getting ready to attack. The time is now. I could absolutely see Hitler delivering the speech here. Putin is paying for his pride with blood of his own people, elsewhere stated, and he prepared to sacrifice ordinary Russians in this way. What is he prepared to do to us? Of course, none of this acknowledges what is, from Moscow's point of view, were the root causes of the war, especially the issue of constant NATO expansion. Root is also hyping a coming world war, even while European leaders, by and large, have rejected the Trump proposed peace plan, given that they find the prospect of territorial concessions in the Donbass and Crimea to be intolerable. It seems the hawks are still in control of Europe. Another interesting moment was NATO chief placing a lot of blame on China. He alleged that Moscow would not be able to execute the war without help from Beijing. Well, yeah, that's the way shit works, right? China is Russia's lifeline, he alleged. Without China's support, Russia cannot continue to wage this war. And that's the reason why the Russian minister of state or finance is in China today, supplicating himself in order to, basically suck cock for the Chinese. Let's see. About 80% of the critical electronics components in Russia's drones and other systems are made in China. So when civilians die in Kiev and Kharkiv, Chinese technology is often inside the weapons. Oddly enough, the European weapons being used have 80% components made in China. Funny how that works. Let's see. But ironically, the same could be said of many Western systems, even the ones deployed by the Pentagon. Chinese tech is basically everywhere, and this is no secret. One commentator had the astute observation on the sad state of affairs in Europe. Desperate boomers passing laws to ban young people from free speech, home ownership, and stable employment, while also berating us like it's World War II, so that we reintroduce military conscription too. Dropping out, laying flat, giving up are rational choices. Yeah, there is some irony. We want you to go to war, and we're going to take away your free speech while you lead you down the primrose path. Europe, I don't know what to do with these guys, except to ignore them.
I do. Punt them. Like, legitimately. We need to just break off relations with them until
they go just ignore
collapse. And no, legitimately, they're in the process of a very rapid collapse. Even if nothing changes, we have at tops 2 generations until there is no such thing as Europe.
Hey, Jim, if you're just going to hang out in the chat and comment, you should just get on the panel with us.
I know. It's not like we don't have stuff to talk about, Jim.
It's not like you don't have the link. Silly.
Well, good news, guys. The Europeans are clearly spoiling for war. Surely the American liberals are completely saying, like, listen, let's get a grip, Europe. Let's disarm and let's cool it, right? That's what they're saying, right?
Nope.
Well, nope. New York Times editorial board urges U.S. to prepare for a future war with China.
We've been telling people to prepare for a future war with China for a very long time.
Right. This is the proverbial future broken clock is right is right twice a day, right? Especially about future conflict. Let's see here.
He doesn't have a link. Washer, can you handle that for him?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, on it.
I was gonna say, do you even have access to the chat?
Who?
Oh, Watcher, he's got his chat. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
All
Jim,
right.
you are the missing link.
You are the missing link. Goodbye. All right. Let's see. New York Times editorial board released a video this week calling for the U.S. to prepare for future future conflict. I like that. And urged the Pentagon to take drastic steps to better be prepared to potentially fight a war with China, a conflict that could quickly turn nuclear. So, Joe, here's my question: what do they really want? Do they want us to prepare for actual war with China, or do they want us to have, drag time story hour at Dodia schools, and
you're a bigot, Scott, because that prepares us for war. Enables us to see bigger and wider opportunities in the world.
It shows the children what kind of freaks are out there. Now, we're going to parade a bunch of freaks in front of you these are the people to be worried about. Peter Chase Helicopter Tours for $2 says, is the EU pulling in Israel, sensing the political will waning of the American people and to give two damns about Europe? I think this there's a couple things wrapped into this, especially with the kind of the globalist elite left. I do believe they feel like they need their own force, right? They've always been able to dupe the Americans into doing it up until now, but now that with the Trump,
our independence streak has got them pants shittingly scared.
That's exactly right, and so ultimately they need to be able to back up whatever they do on their own without having to rely on a fickle U.S. Even a Biden administration, I don't think would have just jumped with both feet into a war in Europe. You saw
this relates to it directly. Last night I watched a movie called Munich: The Edge of War, and it was about Neville Chamberlain and the compromise he made, right, for Czechoslovakia. And the movie paints him as a guy who is simply trying to avoid a bigger war, and it's relevant because Donald Trump is trying to give some territorial concessions to the Russians. It's been compared to the Chamberlain deal, all of that, right?
Yeah.
What Chamberlain said at the end of the movie, when all of his advisors are in the plane saying, sir, you're going to look silly. This was dumb. Everyone's going to get angry at you. And he said, if they call me a fool, that's a small price to pay to give us a little more time to prepare for what's coming. And I thought that was a very interesting take on Chamberlain's compromise, right?
Yeah.
And it might also explain or give people a different take on Donald Trump wanting to say, okay, let them have the Donbass. They already had it, but they're not getting anything else, right? So I think it's interesting.
Joe, I think that's an interesting thing, right? There's a time to kind of stand back and not not be overly aggressive, I guess is a good way to put it. And that's when you maybe appease somebody. But then there's other times when you have to be strong, right?
Yeah.
The problem with the Europeans is they want to appease when they shouldn't, and then they want to not appease when they should. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like they get it wrong. They're getting it wrong both in 1938 and 36, and they're getting it wrong again in 2025.
Do you know where we got it wrong? Getting involved with them again.
Well, not getting out of NATO in 1994, which is what I've said, like going on 5 years now.
Our ancestors left those people and came to this continent for a good reason.
All right, let me Joe's CMMG link is distracting me. All right, let me get back to it. U.S. politicians often boast that America has the strongest, most powerful military in the world, but behind closed doors, they're being told a different story. The editorial board said the New York Times opinion has learned that the Pentagon has been delivering a classified, comprehensive overview of U.S. military power called the Overmatch Brief. The report shows what could happen if a war were to break out between China and the United States. The results are alarming. The video said that a war with China might seem purely hypothetical, but claims that China's President Xi Jinping ordered the Chinese military to be ready to seize Taiwan by 2027. However, that timeline is based on claims from the CIA that have never been confirmed by Chinese officials. Xi reportedly told President Biden last year that there was no such plans to be ready to invade Taiwan by 2027.
Yeah, that's because it's not by 2027. So I would say that you all might not have heard about this, but there was this book written, I don't know, 1,500 years ago or so by a guy named Sun Tzu, who said, attack when you appear unable to attack. And if I made a statement that said, I want to be ready to do this by 2027, odds are they can do it by 2025 or 2026. And that guy was from China, by the way. Speaking of guys from China.
or might know some people from China.
Hey, guys.
Jim, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, China's everywhere these days, huh?
Jim, I know why you wanted to shoot 45s. Because sometimes short, fat, and slow gets the job done.
This guy. Yeah, it's big, slow, and quiet. That's kind of why I like it.
Hey, Jim, what's your take on the 2027 kind of, like the whole China warning they need to be able to take Taiwan by 2027?
It's constant pressure cooker. They're going to stay engaged and push and try not to give anything. But their reliance on the Russian buying is interesting. So the economic accord with Russia and with North Korea, there's almost competition going on. It's kind of a strange dynamic.
Yeah.
But the Russians really need China, and there's an interesting symbiosis for China. China needs the market since it's been screwed out of a lot of the stuff by us. Yeah, it's going to be a volatile engagement for a long time, but I don't think much will change because of the symbiosis. They both, Russia doesn't want to give up the war because they don't have an alternative. The war is their economy at this point, right? So I don't see how Putin exits this comfortably.
Yeah,
even with concessions, if he gets Donetsk and Luhansk and well, he's already got Crimea pretty much. This is a hard thing to solve. So you're probably looking at a DMZ type structure. And given the English casualty last week, we know what that means, right? And Article 5 is an issue. So we'll see how it goes. And in Asia, the Chinese are full court press Yellow Sea against Korea and Japan, full court press against Japan and the Japanese islands in the south, and full court press on the Filipinos, the Malaysians, and anybody else who steps in their way.
Were you surprised that the timing on the whole Massey bill to pull? I know it's performative. It's one of those kind of things that would never get any traction, unfortunately. But Massey's proposal to withdraw the U.S. from NATO, I thought that was interestingly timed.
Yeah, it's one of those things that is performative. They've got it, the hard right, the neo-isolationist right. People like Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
He said, let them fall apart.
That's me.
They won't be recognizable in 2 generations. You're not wrong, Watcher. You're right. And the sad thing in Europe now is there's a power struggle between the multilateralist Eurocentric people and the folks in the countries who just want to get their own shit in order, right? And if you look at who's being successful at reorganizing locally, you've got the Poles, you've got the Czechs, You've definitely got the Hungarians. I mean, and Orban is a pariah in Europe among the Euro folks. But he's, the Hungarians will always, move to the beat of a different drummer and be very devout Catholics, right? So there's a reason they are who they are. The Magyar Catholics are just different. They're not going to play by everybody's rules. And the Poles, I was in the room with some Poles a few weeks ago, very senior people, and they're great. They get it. They understand. But they understood in 38 and 39 too, right? And look where it got them.
Yeah.
It's, that's the sad part of the geography of Poland is it's right in the wrong place, and there's very little defensibility except a couple of rivers. Right?
Well, I mean, you know what they call Russia in Poland, right? The Eastern problem, and you know what they call Germany, right?
The Western.
The Western problem. Yeah.
It's just a problem, man. I think that's everybody in Europe just seems upset. When I talk to Europeans every day, and these people have been friends for more than 40 years, and they're just distressed. And the nature of the distress is twofold. For the men, it's, why is this happening during my retirement? And for the women, it's, I really fear for our children.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting mix of dynamics, right? But there is fear, and there is an understanding that something is amiss, which goes back to watchers' perceptions. When you used to be able to walk downtown during City Market and be comfortable, everybody's walking downtown during City Market looking over their shoulder, unless the government shuts the city markets down during Christmas.
I was just going to say,
because of the threat, which I'm seeing happen in Europe this year.
Yeah, they just canceled the Christmas market in I want to say Belgium.
But that level of absurdity. So, but it all roots back to the fact that Christmas is a Christian holiday, and thus it may be seen as inflammatory. So it's a double win for the municipal governments. They placate the Islamic minority, majority, depending on which one it is.
Yeah.
And they save them a lot of effort because they know there's going to be an attack. And the attack may not be a jihadi attack, but the attack will be a migrant-led criminal act, right? For sure. And given the propensity to drive vehicles into crowds of people celebrating Christian holidays, I get it. I understand why a city in Belgium might make that decision, but it's a sad recognition of why there's this discomfort among the citizenry in Europe.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why, like Mark Rutte's out there basically, hey, we need to get ready, get on war footing is what he's saying to NATO members. And some of this is a legitimate, hey, we've neglected our defense for too long. Well, there goes Jim. Some of that is that we've neglected our defense for too long, but a lot of it is performative, right? It's very much like, oh shit, we may be left without our big stick, the Americans, to basically, have the call option on their national defense. So we're going to have to start, But the interesting thing is where are they going to get the money? Are they going to cancel the social programs? I don't think so. So that's one of the reasons why I think that they're looking longingly at the Russian reserves, cash reserves in European banks.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that has something to do with the amount of Musk's fine as well.
Yeah, that's a tax mechanism, man.
Yeah.
That is such a blatant abuse for purposes of raising funds. It has nothing to do with destabilizing characteristics of Twitter or the other platforms, Meta. It has to do with the fact that they found a goose they could squeeze every year with a new grievance. And once a bureaucracy gets a taste of it, they never give it up, right? So I think the solution on that is people like Twitter and Meta need to stand back and say, okay, if Europeans want to use our platform, fine. And just tell the Europeans to pound sand on the compliance thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, the irony will be when the Trump administration turns around and starts, putting reciprocal fines and things like that on European companies that are way less able to pay.
There are no European companies. No, that's the myth.
I was going to say,
there's no mechanism. There's no mechanism for countervailing plays here, because if you look, I mean, it's like the economic model, the mouse that roared, right? It's like that. What are they going to do? Send a couple of guys with bows and arrows in a little boat across the Atlantic to attack Washington? And you've got the French rattling their sabers, saying we're a nuclear power and we're going to lead Europe in the future. Okay, cool. Step up,
knock yourself out. Let's call it OTAN, and we will see ourselves out.
Exactly. And when the E3s get old and the E6s get old, and you need this and you need that, hey, give us a call, and we're glad to bid. But we know, even though we bid, Airbus will win, even though it's a piece of shit option, right?
But tell them we don't take checks from the French. I'm just saying.
What? The French. Okay, so the French are great engineers. They just are. They build really good stuff, and they're very innovative. They do good math. They do good science. Excellent. The problem is the society has constrained their ability to be entrepreneurs and do the innovation. And so if you don't fall right into the tracks of working with the right companies, all two of them, right? You just get abandoned. And they're beginning to try to make changes to that. But Europe is a very hard place to build a company that builds consequential equipment. And they're working very hard to fix that. And we'll see if they can be successful. We cannot make them successful. They have to do it. The more we involve ourselves, the less motivated they'll be to actually solve their own problems.
Well, but weirdly, the more we try and get them to try and solve their own problems, the more pissy assholes they become.
Well, Donald is a difficult guy.
Let's not pretend that they weren't acting this way before Donald. They just did it behind closed doors.
Oh, no. Agreed totally. Except Donald is a difficult guy. So they can get a lot of traction by just running his quotes to the European audience, right? So we've played into their hands in a lot of ways on that one. And again, I'm a Trump supporter. I catch shit for it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But they use that to their advantage. But I don't see this working. I mean, they're going after the Russian money in Belgium. Belgium's saying they don't want to take the risk. The rest of Europe is saying we're not going to take the risk. They've already used all of the interest income on the Russian money, and now they want the principal. And that's a bad precedent to set, but I think they're going to do it. So with the U.S. seizing tankers, the British will probably grab the Russian money. And my guess is the Chinese begin inspecting ships on the way to Taiwan to see if their weapons moving into a place they claim to be their territory. So,
what'll be interesting is when the U.S. starts escorting its actual shipments of weapons into the country, into Taiwan, with like a destroyer or something like that, right?
No, not that they'd ever do that, right? Where's the precedent in that?
This Department of War might do that, but normally I would say you're right.
I would hope so. If people want to understand how this rolls out, many years ago there was a shipment of Singaporean armored vehicles that had been sent to Taiwan to do maneuvers, to practice with the Taiwanese military, and they were put on a freighter to return to Singapore, and it was grabbed in Hong Kong because they hadn't declared that there was war material aboard the vessel.
Yeah.
So even though they weren't landed, the kerfuffle was created to show who's in charge. I'm going to guess that routing is no longer used. But this week, the Singaporeans and the Chinese are doing joint maneuvers. So wrap your head around that one. There's a cooperative training activity. So the bilaterals in Asia are going to get interesting. You got the government in Thailand has been dissolved by the king. You got the ongoing war. It's bilateralism, man.
Is the king behind the war, do you think? Or
No, I don't think so. The bravado of Thais is behind the war, but the bravado of the Cambodians being pushed by the Chinese is I think really the kicker. Somebody shot somebody, from what I can tell, and I'm going to guess it was a Cambodian guy took a shot at one of the Thais.
Well, that's what our friend legal mindset's been saying, is that the Cambodians have been acting a fool along that border, and basically the Thais just got sick of it.
Well, the Cambodians are hungrier, right? They're trying to make money, right? So whenever you have people who are trying to make money, you end up in smuggling routines and drug routines, and you're vulnerable to payoffs. And I think the Cambodians are vulnerable to Chinese influence at this point. Chinese would clearly say no. And the Chinese influence may just be the Chinese guy who owns the factory in the town that, says, hey, go take a shot at the Thai guy.
Interestingly enough, it's not an accident that the Thais are dropping bombs on these Cambodian casinos near Angkor Wat.
Some wise guy I heard yesterday, very wise, said that this is a proxy war with a Chinese proxy on one side and a UK and US proxy on the other. So
yeah, we'll see. Somebody has stimulated something, and God, I sound like Ilhan Omar. Yeah, exactly. Something's afoot. And I have a lot of respect for the Thais, though the Thais have been toying with the Chinese a little too closely for my satisfaction. So we'll see where it goes.
If you start to see a lot of new equipment showing up on the Cambodian side of the border, that's how you know the Chinese have been invigorated in this. Right now, you're just seeing a bunch of older hardware. But
also a great way for a nation to get fresh hardware.
Yeah, it's a really good way to test things as well.
Yeah.
So that video of that strong point that was blown up, Joe, was that an AI video or is that a real video?
Of what game blowing up?
There was that Thai facility that took some rocket hits. It was a video. I never saw whether it was a real video or not. Because if that was a real video and those 300 millimeter rockets did hit it the way they did, that
was real. But
I think that was real too. You're talking about the 5-story building. It's a pretty big building.
I don't know. I just watched the downward attack of some very large, what looked like guided rockets, blew the shit out of a facility. I was just wondering if it was an AI film, but if it's not an AI film, then those are very well designed Chinese guided warheads, right? So, and that's where I see this going is a slow incremental shift. I mean, the Thais have air superiority, but that can shift really quickly by dropping some new missile systems down. And so you watch for the Chinese cargo planes arriving in Cambodia. Everything's just ripe for escalation because of this sense of unease. Everybody's got a sense of unease, and it's all being blamed on us, right? Because we're withdrawing from stuff we really don't prioritize. And the things we've prioritized are first island, second island chain in the Pacific theater, and our own hemisphere. That's the shift. And everybody around the world's running around with their hair on fire saying, you can't do that. You're abandoning the world. Well, we can't afford not to choose where we apply our resources. We went too far. We were 15 to 20 years late in curtailing our involvement in things that we really shouldn't be involved in. And when I say that as a very proud American. We just can't be everywhere all the time. It's too expensive in blood and treasure, right? And we've been really slow to curtail it.
Well,
Yeah.
particularly not when our payment for all of it is getting spit in our face.
I sense it, young man. I sense it. You speak for your generation.
Yeah.
Right. Let's do the last one here. This is kind of along the same lines. This just in: UK is rapidly developing plans to prepare the whole country for possible outbreak of war, and then Armed Forces Minister has said,
That's right. I need to find where I put that.
I'm just like, oh my god. I mean, who are they going to war with? Their own people.
Well. So if you take Russia at their word, that British gentleman who just so happened to have found himself on the battlefield on vacation, I'm sure, and snuffed it under very odd circumstances, might potentially mean that if Russia wants to, it's whooping time.
Well, the last guy that just died, they literally said, no, he's an actual British service member. He was training Ukrainians, or he was observing Ukrainians in battle, and he was near the front line, but not on the front line. So UK went as close as they've ever come to saying, yeah, we got guys fighting in Ukraine. And I think this guy's death they couldn't hide. So it's going to be interesting. Because Russia could just say, "Hey, why was your guy somewhere where he could get killed by us?" So
yeah.
So this is actually in the NATO document, right? This is Article 4.95.
Well,
the guy who's not there dies. Right?
Yeah, that actually.
Yeah.
If you voluntarily sent people to a conflict zone, Article 5 does not apply.
Yeah, 100% of those. It also doesn't apply when it's kind of like outside of the treaty organization area as well.
Ukraine's not outside of the treaty organization.
No, I'm saying, like, for instance, like if something happened, well, Ukraine's not part of the treaty organization, so that's.
But it's in Europe, so.
I don't know, man. That's like arguing that. I mean, it is technically in Europe. You're right. You're right about that.
No, but if you're in Eastern Europe and you're a young male, you can kiss all the girls you want, man.
I will point out that at the time that the treaty was signed, Ukraine was enemy territory. So,
yeah, exactly right. Well, Joe, the problem is we've stretched this NATO idea to the breaking point, right? Like when you put Turkey in it, you're really stretching things, you know. Okay, yeah, there is a part of Turkey in Europe.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like, well, Greece. Is Greece really the North Atlantic?
I'll point out that we were going to allow Georgia in, and they're way farther east than Ukraine.
Yeah, 100%.
Look,
but they got a righteous flag, guys.
Sure, but admitting the Baltic dwarves was jumping the shark.
Like I said, man, NATO should have been dissolved in 1994, and they should have created like multiple successor organizations, you know, for regional security cooperation.
The problem is when you create an organization that then has a bureaucracy that has a payroll in Europe, it's not going anywhere.
It ain't going anywhere. You're exactly right.
It ain't going anywhere.
Organism, right? It wants to live.
It's the UN, it's European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, which is now the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development is a very large player in Africa. Huh? Really? So what happens is as the mission wanes, they create new missions. And you know, this is clearly where the Victoria Nuland world was, is we gotta create a mission, right? USAID needs to grow and expand to become this liberal tool to manipulate the globe. And you get places like the Institute of Peace, which is, what the hell is that? And I had it described to me as a lily pad for leftist thinkers. When they're not in power on the Hill, they send them over to make a couple $100,000 a year as experts at the Institute of Peace. So it's the holding pond for the diplomatic warriors who are chattel class to the left, right? So you send your fighting force of diplomats to hang out somewhere where they get paid and they can research, i.e., continue to figure out how to mess with the conservative movement, and then pull them out. You pull them out and send them into the field. It's very bizarre structure in DC that was allowed to be developed over the last 30 years. So now it's the Trump Institute of Peace, if I'm not mistaken. Exactly. I cannot imagine the depth of liberal hate in Washington. He controls the Institute of Peace and he controls the Kennedy Center. It's like hair's on fire. All the thespians are running around with their hair on fire.
That's hilarious. All right, gentlemen. Anything else we need to talk about today? Any domestic politics you guys got a bee in your bonnet over?
Yes. Indiana.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to suggest that. I was literally just looking at that fucking...
Indiana and the Pence movement is the EU of the United States.
I hate to say it, but there's still a significant amount of old school GOP, Pence GOP guys that are still out there.
Now, there's one word that describes what went on in Indiana conservatives, and I know Joe doesn't like to hear it, so he can fill in. He can fill in if he wants. Yeah, exactly.
Basically, it was what 19 to 27 or something like that.
No, it is absurd and shows no spinal fortitude.
Yeah, I mean, so essentially they've got 9 congressional seats. It would have been 9 Republican seats with the new gerrymandered map that would be in response. And it's not, I'm looking at the proposed map. It's not even crazy gerrymandered. It's just like you're basically mixing rural and urban populations so that you get a mix that represents the majority of the state. It's no different than what's been done in New Mexico and Illinois and all these other Massachusetts. I mean, so this is not something that Texas started. If anything, the Republican states actually, there's not that many Republican states that are zero Democrat states, right? I mean, even Kentucky generally has 1 Democratic seat in Louisville.
Yeah, well, no. So what happened is about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was decided by the Republicans that they could not adjust party lines for political purposes as the Democrats had done because it was deemed racist the second they began to move. And all of them universally capitulated to the fear of being accused of being racist. It is political. It is not race driven. If you have a big pool of Democrats, you can slice it up in my book. I don't care what race, creed, or color they are. You can slice it up. The Republicans, though, have this, oh my God, they're going to pull the race card on us and we will lose. We got to get past that. And Indiana is a perfect example of throwback. There's a combination of that and their refusal to play. And there's a deep dislike from the Pence group for Trump. And this is a, much like Europe, a suicidal movement for that group of leaders in the state of Indiana.
Much like giving us Mike Pence, Indiana has just been stabbing us in the back ever since.
Well, I just read here recently that originally General Flynn was going to be the VP choice for Trump, and then at the last minute, the kind of institutional Republicans, talked them into taking on Pence, and so. Yeah,
way better to
doesn't surprise me at all.
Behind than it is when you're on top.
Yeah, so the reason that Flynn didn't get the job is he was seen as an uncontrollable entity by the IC. They knew that he was going to come in and reorganize them. So target number one. They took him down, but he would have been a great VP candidate. Now I think he's kind of, I read what he writes these days. He's angry, justifiably. Yeah. I wish he wasn't as angry. I wish he spent that energy trying to become effective again within the political machine. But the political machine is so dysfunctional. It's tragic. The rate of appointments has just been appalling.
So it says here, Trump allies announced immediate primary challenges to every Indiana state representative, Senate Republican for re-election who voted no on the 2026 redistricting map. It's 21 Republicans voted no. They list all of them. And it says, this is, I guess, a quote from Trump. Alec, hold on, who is this? Trump advisor, CEO, he's an America First guy, says, we'll be launching primary challenges against every last traitor who voted no, effective immediately. Pack your bag. Your time is up. I hope they do that. This is what the Trump organization needs to do. They need to start taking charge at the state level.
They also need to stop making statements and start taking action.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That's
exactly
a great
right.
Statement to make.
But if you don't do anything, it's fucking useless.
Yeah, it's sadly, a lot of these guys in the White House are beginning to look like posers, and the cabinet. I mean, a couple of them are out taking action. I'm pretty impressed with transport. I like what energy's doing. I like Kristi Noem, even though, Marco's out, on fire, right? And the fact that people are saying that he's dangerous because he's moving so aggressively. These are foreigners, right? I just find it hilarious. But yeah, he's moving aggressively. There's nothing between him and the mission right now. So I would like to see DOJ get a little bit more aggressive. Excuse me. I would like to see DOJ do something. And I'll tell you what, I don't think Bondi's a bad girl. I think Bondi's just completely ineffective. I think DC and the legal guild have mired her because she still thinks of herself as an attorney before she thinks of herself as the head of the Department of Justice. And we need a non-attorney executive to be running justice. And I know that's considered heresy, but it's clear attorneys cannot police attorneys in the District of Columbia. It is at the core of our problem.
You need an administrator. You don't need an attorney.
I think we need a freaking hatchet man. That's where we put Flynn.
Amen.
Put Flynn in there.
Oh,
Flynn
God, can you imagine that? That'd be amazing.
Make Flynn the guy that runs DOJ. And that'll get him into the IC, but he gets him into the IC with an army of badge carriers who can make arrests. That would be golden.
Well, he would have to clean out his own badge carriers first.
It's true.
Yeah, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. Well, I'm just really glad I'm not there. So
well, the irony is you have two types of people. You've got posers, and then you've got essentially what are dangerous people, right? And that's Pam Bondi, right? She is a dangerous person. She is exactly what she never purported to be anything different than what she's doing exactly right now. And then on the other side of that, you've got Kash Patel, who that was one of the guys that if you had asked us before Inauguration Day who were excited to get in there and get ripping, he was top of my list. And now he's the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, that's before I saw his challenge coin.
Well, his urban camo tactical outfit was the thing that really made me go, what the fuck? I mean, if you're gonna wear camo, at least get some drip going. Yeah, that's the least dripped camo I've seen in years.
Gentlemen, anyway. I've just received a picture. This is reportedly spotted on the streets in Venezuela.
Oh boy.
Well, they just want him for his pug and his tank.
That's right. Gentlemen, that's all I got for today. Anything else you guys want to cover?
Hold on. You mentioned camouflage drip, so I'm.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll pan for you. I have an ad real quick. Oh, never mind. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, look at this.
Look at this.
Did you get the Anchor and Globe on there?
I haven't yet. I'm gonna today. But
Nice.
Okay. Very cool.
So I guess I'll do my one little ad segment here. It's not up yet, but we'll post it to the fan chat. The Chirping Tree Farm store is going to go live. Mrs. Watcher has been working on a wide variety of things for you guys for quite a while, and we meant to launch it like last month, so you could have actually got it for Christmas, but things happen.
George the Laserham, home of the BFC.
Yeah, I did see that. I like that. But yeah, if you guys want any of the many fine products, including like hot honey and some really good vanilla extract and those cute little chickens, and then the candles or any of that kind of stuff, we'll have a little Shopify store that you guys can buy it from. Watch my social media page or the fan chat. So thanks, guys.
Cool. Good luck with it. It looks very awesome. Good.
Oh,
all right, round the horn, going into the weekend. Joe, where do you think we land by Monday?
Somewhere that speaks Spanish.
Sí, habla español. Primero dos.
Yeah. Operation Just Cause 2 will most likely occur. I know they want to call it Southern Spear because it sounds cool and warlike, but it really will be Just Cause Redux. So we shall see. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, brother. Jim, what's your kind of take on things that are brewing in the witch's cauldron?
For the Western Hemisphere, I think Joe's right. I would go long rum drinks for the next 24 months because the kids are going to come home liking to drink rum. I don't know how that will happen, but I just know that'll happen. Thus, I've been playing with this concept of Mai Tais as an important thing before Crab Rangoon. So, Watcher.
Yeah, I'm
Crab
down for
Rangoon.
this.
Crab Rangoon exists, so you can drink 6 Mai Tais. Crab Rangoon has no crab in it. So if you're putting crab in your Crab Rangoon, you're wrong.
You did it wrong. Yeah, for sure. It's got to be that. It's got to be that Alaskan whitefish.
Next time you're at Ponderosa, I will show you how to make good Crab Rangoon.
Ooh, you know what? I'm down.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome stuff when done properly.
That happens, right?
Yeah, it'll be awesome. I think in Asia, you're going to see the Chinese trying to get their nose directly into the solution vis-a-vis China, Thailand and Cambodia. And I think there's going to be some real elbow throwing about that. And I think that you're going to see the Koreans have a problem in the next couple of weeks vis-a-vis the Chinese and their aggressive fisheries enforcement.
Yeah,
I think
Koreans
the Chinese
have actually been,
I think you're going to see the Chinese try to figure out a way to step on Korea. And the thing about Korea that's got Chinese and everybody else pissed off is the Koreans are very good at building weapons now. And they're building a really good Gen 4-5 solution in aviation. And they're building really, really good artillery rocket systems. And they have no legacy commitment to naval systems. So they're building new and innovative ways to fight naval warfare. So I think between Hanwha and the other big chaebol, you've got a competitor that China sees as a commercial competitor. So there's going to be some really interesting pushback between Korea and China this coming 2 weeks. And it's the Nanjing/Manchuria rage fest vis-a-vis Japan, and I think Japan is at the edge of that too. So watch Korea, watch Japan, and watch that first island chain. China's going to be throwing elbows.
And listen, if you do drink Diplomatico, I would buy it now, because if we go to war with Venezuela,
Exactly.
you probably will not be able to buy Diplomatico.
Yeah.
Anybody who's down there floating around and gets a chance to find a cocktail, i.e., visits the British ships for the day, which I think anybody who can will. Man, yeah, there's going to be a run on rum. It's going to be like the run on tequila went. A lot of money will be made.
As long as we're talking our favorites, any of our brave pilots and or ground crew who find themselves over in Puerto Rico for the day, can I recommend looking up a little bottle called Rondo Barlitos? You will thank me.
See, this is how it begins, man. This is how it begins. The run on rum. Heard it here first.
The run on rum. Yeah. Well, like I'll be honest with you, I like Juan Cholos, so rock and roll. Yes. Turtle Ship Legacy lives on. Lance Corporal Veteran. Yes.
Turtle ships. Hey, if you want to see a great series of movies about the turtle ships, the Yishisun series. What's that start with? What's the first one? The Admiral, Roaring Currents. Then Han-san and Noryang. Great movies.
Yeah, those are all General Lee. Korea's got their own General Lee. So PSA helicopter tours for $2 says Institute of Peace, where the scheme to send 40 million weekly to the Taliban by Tom West. Yeah,
exactly.
Now that's an AI mashup I want to see. Admiral Yi and the General Lee.
Yes. Well, they probably would have got along.
I don't know, man.
W84 for $2. Any thoughts on China training with Singapore troops a mere weeks after 123 Infantry and 12 SBCT did?
Tuesday. I mean, Singapore has a strong allyship with Malaysia, which just happens to be China South, right?
Oh my gosh. Happy birthday to Jennifer Conley. I guess today's her birthday.
Oh, you want to know what else needs to be celebrated today? I am remiss in not mentioning it at the very top of the show. Today is Mrs. Tactical Wisdom and I's anniversary.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Congratulations, Joe.
Yeah. A little sketchy 2 days ago, but we made it. So,
well, to celebrate that, I'll share this this video here.
Yeah.
Was it Career Opportunities the name of this movie? Yes, I will never forget this movie. Jennifer Connelly, the best looking girl a girl has ever been in the movie. Not the smartest, but definitely the best looking. All right.
What was she just in recently? I don't remember.
Battle Angel Alita was the last thing I saw her in.
Was what?
Battle Angel Alita was the last thing I saw her in.
That was a while ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen her in much lately.
She was just on something, and I was like, "Huh, aged well."
Was she in Top Gun 2? That's right.
Was she in the Maverick movie?
I think she was in Maverick. Yeah,
that's right. She was that's right. She was the bartender.
Yeah.
Okay. Way better looking than what's her name.
Yeah, that's
all right, gents.
Oh man, that's the America everybody loves.
All right, Watcher, did you go yet? I can't remember.
I did.
Okay, I want to make sure I didn't skip you. All right, guys, that's all we got for today. Thank you for being here on a special Friday edition of the Council on Future Conflict, episode 601. Chat, you guys are awesome. The council was awesome. I look forward to being back here at the same time, same place next Monday. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends. Let them know you're getting some good stuff over here at the Council on Future Conflict. We'll be back on Monday. So until then, y'all stay safe.
Blood Diamond.